Hey guys, and welcome back to the Drift Lewis YouTube channel. Now today we're going to be doing the F1 2021 Constructors Championship predictions. We're going to go through all 10 teams and we're going to predict who I think is going to finish 10th, who is going to finish 1st, and all the way in between. So all 10 teams, obviously there's been some rebrands, a lot of driver changes. There's going to be some shocks in here. Now we're going to get into 10th place, Haas. And this is partly what I think will happen. It's also what I want to happen, because I absolutely despise Nikita Mazepin after all the things he has done, obviously. Might make a separate video on that, but I'm also thinking that making a video on the prick is not worth my time, because if it was worth my time, it would literally be 10 seconds long, because I would just spurt abuse at him, but he's had plenty of that recently. I actually feel really bad for Mick Schumacher because he has to team up with twat. 9th place, I've got Williams. Now, obviously, they've got some new owners, and last season they very much felt like they were faster than Haas, and I think Haas going to have a poor season. I think Williams are going to do quite a bit better as they start to rebuild and get back to the front of the grid, hopefully. I really want to see Williams do well because of George Russell. I really like him. He's the future of Formula 1. Really great talent, and yeah, Williams are great. You know, as many UK teams we can have doing well in the racing and in Formula 1 is really good for me, because obviously I'm a Brit. In 8th place, we have got Alfa Romeo. Now, it's been weird having them back. Obviously, they improved a lot in 2018 as Sauber, and then 2019. I'm not sure. Like, I never really see Alfa Romeo there. It's a hard one to call because, like I just said, I just don't ever see Alfa Romeo. I'm not sure what it is. Obviously, they're towards the back normally, but I feel like they're just in a place where they're not quick enough to get towards the other cars near them and other teams near them, but they're not slow. They're not too slow so that they're caught up by Williams and Haas. I actually think it's going to be Haas by themselves and then Williams and Alfa Romeo in a battle. Here's a controversial one. 7th place, Ferrari, the most popular or most successful team in Formula 1 history, in 7th place. Why? I think that they're going to improve their car, but I think everyone else is going to drastically improve. So this will put Ferrari a bit worse down, and then they will switch their attention fairly early on in the season, about around 8, I think, into the next season, so that they can try and get back into the title hunt, which is obviously what they're expecting. It's Ferrari. They're expecting to win championships. They're expecting to win plenty of races, just get constructed points. And last season was just a disaster for them. These last 2 seasons have been disasters for them. They had the fastest car in testing in 2019 and didn't even come in the top 2 in the championship. So moving on to 7th place, we have got 6th place, Alpha Tauri. Now they are boasting a new lineup of Pierre Gasly, of course staying in his seat after winning the Italian Grand Prix last season and having a great season, and new F2 rookie sensation Yuki Tsunoda. Now I'm really excited to see what Tsunoda does in Formula 1. I think he's a very talented driver, very capable, someone who definitely deserves to be on the grid, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he matches up against a guy like Pierre Gasly, he's been through a lot in his F1 career. I mean, obviously he lost his Red Bull seat in the race after that, lost his good friend. He's been through a lot in his career, and he's been able to fight it off and get back into it. So let's see how that happens. 5th place, Aston Martin. This is a team I'm really excited to see. This whole Vettel versus Stroll dynamic, 4-time world champion versus the boss's son. How is this going to work? I think Vettel has made a perfect move going to Aston Martin here. Obviously, Aston Martin rebranded from Force India, who were, of course, Racing Points in the past few seasons. I think Vettel is going to be really good for them here in developing their car and getting them towards the front. How great would it be to see Aston Martin winning again? And I really want them to, because I really like Sebastian Vettel, and I really hope he wins another title before he decides to retire from Formula 1, and perhaps even go into, say, team principal and stuff. Maybe even for Aston Martin, as obviously he gets towards the final stage of his career. What would that mean for his legacy of him building up another team and then retiring? So moving on to 4th place, we've got Alpine, who have been rebranded, of course, from Renault. They have got Esteban Ocon and Fernando Alonso back. Firstly, I want to say my well wishes to Fernando Alonso. I may not like him, but I do hope he recovers in time for the season. He's a great driver, and it's going to be disappointing if we can't have him on the grid for the first couple of races. But in my opinion, I've been a big defender of Esteban Ocon here. This makes or breaks his career. If he can beat Alonso, he will prove to the people who say he shouldn't be there that he should be there, because Esteban Ocon should be in Formula 1. He's one of the most talented drivers in the world. And if Lance Stroll is in Formula 1, Esteban Ocon deserves to be in Formula 1. In third place, we've got Red Bull, who have Max Verstappen, the very controversial Max Verstappen, and Sergio Perez on my channel. Of course, many people know what people think. I hate Max Verstappen. I do not hate him as a person. I hate how he races because he's far too aggressive. But obviously they've went Sergio Perez as a replacement for Alexander Albon. I think it's 100% the right call there. Albon was doing horrifically in the Red Bull, having barely any points finishes, and his 2 podiums were basically handed to him last season. I think Perez is going to be much more consistent and try and bring the fight towards Mercedes if they can, but I don't think they're going to be able to. I think they will win a few races this season, probably about 3 or 4, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to bring it to the reigning world champions. You know who I've got in second place? McLaren. They have got Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo here, and this is going to be a really entertaining lineup to see. Of course, their social media will be blowing up this season. Obviously, they are back with Mercedes now as their engine supplier, so it's interesting to see how their car livery will be. I will be live on my Twitch tonight at 7 PM reacting to the new car launch of McLaren. I do think it's going to be a silver and black livery, in case you're wondering. But I really want McLaren to win again. I really hope Daniel Ricciardo wins a championship. Norris has got plenty of time to do that, and which is why I want Ricciardo to win one, especially with McLaren, because McLaren have not won a race since 2012 in Brazil, which is nearly 10 years ago, which is unheard of for McLaren. They normally, back in the day, used to be dominating. Of course, they've had the McLaren Honda days, McLaren Renault. It's been some difficult times for them, and I really hope that they do pull through and do well this season. And I think they could with guys like Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris there. But number one, of course, Constructors champions, Mercedes-AMG Petronas. I will be extremely surprised if anyone beats them this season. Of course, they retaining the lineup of Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Of course, Lewis Hamilton trying to break the 7 World Championship record and make it 8 now. Obviously, he did equal that record last season of Michael Schumacher's. I think here, Hamilton wins the championship and he retires and gets involved with maybe managing the team and stuff, but obviously he's got other things he wants to do. Bottas really needs to step up his game this season. If he doesn't perform this season, Russell will be in that car in 2022. Of course, we've heard if Hamilton stays for 2022, he can have the right to choose his teammate, which of course I think he has earned, considering he is a 7-time world champion and the greatest of all time. But I don't see anyone stopping Mercedes this season. They're going to make it 8 in a row. I'm positive they will. And then going into 2022, will they make it 9? Potentially. I'm not sure about that, but we'll see. Because that's a good thing about F1. I don't think they're going to absolutely dominate the championship. I think they will win it with, say, 2 races to go. I think it's going to be a very close championship in terms of constructors and drivers. But I think Mercedes are just about going to have the edge. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. And I got this soda.